Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs,
We are awake,
if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
we are striving for more.
start taking iron today.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend. There are children watching the show.
All right, now my sound is just way weird. Some stuff's hot, some stuff's low. I don't know, things just got weird.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And welcome to Have No Sphere, right here on the Iron Will Media YouTube channel. You might have guessed it. My name's Josh Corey. We've got a really good show for you tonight, though. So forget about me and let's just say hello to everybody here. I'm still just 3 steps behind everything all day since I woke up. Say hello to Mrs. Cammie Nodell. She's got a channel here. Agelink 717. Cammie, my dear, how are you?
Oh, I am doing good. Don't know how you guys do it, but I was up for the morning show this morning and I'm barely awake for this one here. Way to go, guys that do it every Friday. So, glad it's Friday.
It is Friday. And those guys that join me there in the mornings, not just Fridays, but Tuesdays as well. We'll start with Mr. Zack Zabala. You might know him from his channel, Good Times for All, here on the YouTubes. Zach, how you doing, sir?
I am doing well, and I'm pretty sure we brought enough bubblegum tonight, so things should be all right.
Good, because I didn't bring none.
Well, you know, our guest, if there's no bubblegum, watch out.
Just watch out. All right, let's say hello to Mr. Walt Johnson. He's got a channel, Flat Earthhead, here on YouTube. Walter, how are you doing?
Well, I got a baby kitty. I'm doing great.
Well, good.
He came to see me, so, and he's gone. But I'm here.
There's a dirty joke in there somewhere. But
man, don't.
I would be more mature than to say anything like that.
Don't even go there. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Yeah, we're here. We're ready. Trying to wake up. I did take a brief little hour nap after playing around all afternoon. So, yeah. But, all right. Thank you, Cammie. It's hard every Tuesday and Friday. We're here, though. We're doing it. And we have great guests. So I'm going to shut up and get to the great guests.
Yes, Les. I mean, it's technically a guest, but
you know what I mean.
Just a part of the family, right? Let's just get her in here.
The sis.
You all know Karen B from the Karen B YouTube channel. No, the progenitor of Flattoberfest.
Wow, you're vocabulating now.
Yeah, I pull it out of my ass every once in a while. Karen, welcome back to Have No Sphere, the Iron Realm. Always a pleasure to have you. This is going to be a good talk, I think.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I appreciate it. I love being here with you guys. Y'all are the best. This is like the best little hidden gem on the internet. So happy to be here.
Don't tell nobody.
I've even been toying with the idea of feeling a little overexposed and wanting to, I don't know, find a smaller hermit crab shell or something. Like, I'm just so sick of YouTube. I'm just so sick of it. Even like First Amendment audit videos. All these guys, oh, well, I put a video out, but I'm letting it run through the YouTube algorithms to make sure that I can monetize it before I put it out. I mean, that's cool, fine, but don't pretend like you're here about, oh, I'm just protecting my rights and I'm exercising my rights and the we the people. Fuck off. You just want YouTube money.
It's not even that much money, so why even bother? That's what I don't get.
Well, and that's the other thing is it is a little bit of money if you can start up like 17 channels and you can wrangle in your sons and you all fucking have 5 different channels and you all pool your money, then I suppose you can start to make a little bit of money that way, which is also being done in the 1A community. But
it seems like way more effort than it's even worth.
Mm-hmm. And which is kind of brings me to my point that I'm feeling that even this is way more effort than it's worth. How scary is that? But like, we have Telegram. I'd be more than happy to go live on Telegram, live on Rockfin, and maybe like an unlisted or a private video live streamed for patrons, for Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I really don't care if people are discovering us for the first time.
The bed over there on Rockband pretty good, so that's a way to stay underexposed. We had about 15 or 20 at one point, and now we get about 3, and I think that's you, me, and Zach.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's all Rockfin algorithms, and I'm being shadow banned on Rockfin too now. No, you saw my intro. We are who we are. We love who we are. We're comfortable being who we are. It's not a big issue. I'm not trying to up my game so I get more views on YouTube. I'd rather be comfortable and just scuttle off into the corner somewhere in a smoke-filled room away from the bathrooms where I can have a quiet conversation.
Therapy. This is what we do.
It really is.
We would be doing this if it was just, us sitting here talking a couple times a week.
Shoots things.
Yeah, you're seeing, there's no acting going on here or any theatrics or shows, it's just us shooting the shit. I love it.
And we've never done it for the money. We're monetized, but if you watch commercials on any of our videos, it's because we probably played some music we weren't supposed to. I don't actually monetize the videos, but y'all are more than welcome to send a super chat or a super sticker if you want. But I've got all these good 1A auditors that I like to watch. And now it's either the same shit that I've been watching or I've seen 17 different times being featured by 17 different channels, or all their good stuff's being hidden because now you can't just subscribe to the channel. You've got to now also be like a paying subscriber where YouTube has this other thing where I forget what it's called. You don't subscribe. Membership. There you go. You get a membership, which is just like Patreon. And it's just another way to get money from people, which just seems so
I have memberships on my channel.
You know what? And I would do it if it wouldn't require so much more work from me. I guess that's really what it boils down to, because you got to offer them stuff. And I'm like, my poor patrons, all 3 of them.
I was going to say, we abuse our patrons so bad, Karen. It's sad. We love you guys to death. And it's not that we don't want to do things for you. It's just that
I do the same thing, you guys.
Gets in the way and we just get sidetracked and we forget. And then suddenly it's like, what are we doing?
I'm not even going to pretend like I'm any better, because I'm totally not. I'm a mom who's divorced now, so I have 2 young children that I'm, homeschooling and raising while I'm doing everything that I stream, and then while I do plan the events and stuff, which I'm not working on the event every single day, but I do work on it throughout the year here and there. It's like it is a sporadic, like as needed thing though. It's like I have to stay on top of it, right? So, things like that, special things for the Patreons and the members and stuff. I feel so horrible. Like my Patreons, I've got like 10 Patreons who've been my Patreons forever, and I never do anything. And I finally started putting thank you and putting all their names in a runner across the banner. I was like, you guys are the best. Thank you for supporting me, even though I don't do anything special. It's like they still, even though it's,
Every time I see people
they're
do that on their
helping.
channel, Karen, that thank my Patreons, I think we should do this. And you just said the banner, and that's great. I'm writing it down.
Yeah,
Damn
just
it, we're
put in
gonna
a
do it.
banner, put their names in a banner. I mean, and I always say it, I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys. I love you. You're the best. Just thank you. I appreciate it. Because those people who like anybody who subscribes to the Rockfin channel or is a Patreon or does anything that is like a couple of bucks every month, that helps, right? Because all that adds up and it helps and it goes into my PayPal account and then I can use that money to, do the things I need to do. Like it literally is like how I make money and what I live off of and how I do whatever I'm doing, whatever I need to do. It all goes into the operating costs, So I
Yeah, you
appreciate
work a lot
anybody who does
harder
stuff.
than we do, for sure. Even without doing stuff for your Patreons, you're still
The hardest working lady in Flat Earth.
Well, I still feel bad like I should be doing more.
I'm the same way, but
I think we all do. I think that's something I think everybody feels. I don't think it's just I think everybody is that way. Like if you don't feel that way, then I don't know.
It's a
I
good
don't
point,
know.
I've just always had that kind of work ethic, right? Like I started working
Yeah.
when I was 15 or 16, and I've been working ever since. And even when I took time off and I was giving birth to children, I felt bad about not working. But that's a legitimate reason to stop working. Like you should stop working if you're giving birth and raising children, because that's a job. That's a full-time job. You don't need to be
That's a
going and making money.
24-hour a day job.
Absolutely. Like the last thing you should be doing is worrying about leaving the house to make money because you're raising children. And to have to, put those children in the hands of a stranger or the state just to go make some fucking fiat paper money is
And
just
then give
the most
them a bunch of
retarded
that
thing
paper
ever.
money for watching your child.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Right.
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, and healthcare, I mean, geez, especially for a single mom, we were so blessed that the YMCA in Hobart there, Indiana, my mom got a job there and daycare was free. We got to go there with her because she had to be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So we got to go there before school with her. They had a before school program where people got to drop their children off there if they had to go to work early. And then an after school program too. And then a summer camp as well. Yeah, like so my mom never had to pay. Oh, it was, and she will say that till the day she dies, that as bad as the YMCA's are and their politics and all the nonsense that goes along with it, there are some really good ones out there that do take care of their,
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends who's running it. It's all the community and stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how she got lucky. When she got there, it was a really nice guy, and they had a supposed contract. And then this asshole came in, and I think he's probably even still there. He's been there for like decades. But yeah, he tried to weasel out of so much money, and he was so rude to the public and all that. But yeah, there's there's a lot of good that still there's good people in those places, I should say. Not so much the administration, but yeah, my mom was the front office lady, and she knew everybody's name. She was that lady that knows everybody's name who walks in there, and yeah, all the old people knew her. And God, Christmas and Secretary's Day and all those days. Good Lord, we'd be carrying boxes out to the van of gifts from the people would bring into her. Yeah, but no, it's hard, Karen. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in one of those houses, and yeah, it's hard. So yeah, good on you for getting it any way you can.
One thing though that I am working on in the kind of background is some like homeschooling flat earth related stuff, like taking some of the globe earth, you know, the stuff that you can't get away from, like certain science things, or when it talks about like the equinox and the vernox and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And I have
teach them
little
both.
worksheets, right?
Yeah.
I have some sheets that I'm gonna change them to tell it from the geocentric point of view, so you could do both. I think that would be really cool.
I have to say I've been over at her house and I've seen her do that in progress with her kids in homework when you're handing out homework and you crossed out and reprinted the sheets and did this way, giving it out and like she's like, I'm not putting it out like this. So she has been even making them in progress. I think that's one of the most noble causes we could really have when we think. The more I think about it, is making some of the materials for the kids, because again, if the new generation coming up doesn't have to unlearn the lies, it can change everything. I mean, if again, just starting them off straight,
Just giving them, I feel
chance
like
to
if I
learn.
give them both right off the bat, like, and my son, he says that the earth is a globe, he's rebelling against mom, but it's fine. I don't even care if he says that. I'll just be
Well,
like,
that's
okay,
the fact that he's saying that means that he knows it's flat because
I
he's
was
just
about to
rebelling
say my
against
son
mom.
did the same thing. He went
Yeah.
through a whole period on Facebook where he was like, "Oh, I don't know, this is pretty
I don't
crazy.
even
My
care if he does,
dad's
right?
blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, it's fine, because even if he does think that, things will happen in the future in his life, experiences will happen where he will
Mhm.
think back to what his mother told him, and
Yeah.
he will like, you know what? She
She
was
was
right.
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Planting those
I know
seeds.
it's gonna happen because it
Yeah.
happened to
Oh,
me. Or I got older and then I went back and apologized to my mom for being such a turd, at certain times, because I started to feel guilty. I was like, oh my God, I was a horrible person.
Yeah. I planted a couple
You know?
seeds in his head when you guys were over here the other day because he was going on his little, the earth is round. I'm going to get vaccinated. Blah, 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 blah. I was
He
like,
said he was gonna get
dude.
vaccinated.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you sound like an internet troll. Why are you being like that?
He acts like a troll.
And he's like, well, yeah, I'm being a troll. I was like, dude, that's like the one thing on earth I despise. That's like that's just a liar, is what that is. You're just saying things to get a rise out of people. That's not being a man, and then I left it at that. But I was just giving him my opinion. I was like, dude, that's not being a man. That's being a grown child. That's all that is. That's a gamer who just lost and is throwing in a little temper tantrum. That's all that is. I didn't say that to him, but yeah, no, I was no,
Why
'cause-
not? All
yeah,
that sounds good.
yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, I didn't lay into him, but I just told him, I was like, dude, that ain't cool.
That's not laying
Mom or
into
not,
him.
your mom or not. I didn't even bring you into it.
Hmm.
It wasn't about you at all. I was just saying, dude, that's not the way to be. That's not how men act, you know. So maybe we'll see if it planted any seeds in there. He's just rebelling against mom. That's what he's doing.
I
Raging
know.
against the machine. You're his machine right now. You're his government. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so weird. That's one of the hardest things about being a parent, though, is when you're trying to like raise this future adult. That's what they are. They're future adults who will be set free into the wilderness to do whatever they're gonna do, right? So you're the person who's basically trying to teach this person, everything that they're supposed to do and right from wrong, and how to operate in the world. So you know when things it's just so difficult because you say you want to tell them how to do stuff, and then they like rebel against you, and then you tell them to question the government, and they're like, well, I'm questioning you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm your mom. I care about the type of person you become. The government doesn't care about the person you become. That's the difference. I care
Yeah.
about the person that you become. I care about what happens to you in your life. The government doesn't. They just care about how much they can extract from you throughout your lifetime, right?
Hmm.
Until you expire. I care about you actually enjoying your life and being happy and fulfilling your dreams, your wants, your needs, all that stuff, right? In a positive way, and it's just a really hard thing to convey to these little monsters.
Yeah.
And they want to come out and act like little monsters.
It would be so hard right now with the internet and everything, just constantly bombarding them with, oh man, it's got to be such a totally different job than when I was
Right?
a child.
And I think that pulling them out of public school and bringing them home, that was a huge game changer, because when they go to school, they're you're not there. It's one teacher and a teacher's helper and like 20 something children in my town anyway. And all these children, you don't know what their home lives are like. You don't know what kind of parents they have or what they're doing when they go home, and whatever they're doing outside of school time, they come back to school and they share that with their classmates, or it changes how they act towards their classmates, right? So like the bullying, the 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 weird subject matter and just random topics that come up, and so said this, and I'm like, said what? you know all that stuff goes away when you take your children out of public school, right? And you start homeschooling them, and then you can really be um mindful and control. And I know that sounds bad, but you should be controlling what your children are exposed to, how much time they're on the internet, blah 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 blah. I mean, once I started doing that, once I was able to do that, and it was a couple of years ago, I was like, "This is great." They're not being exposed to these horrible children at school who come to school and tell them all this
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
crap. So even if they're not looking at that stuff at the internet when they're at my house, they were still getting stuff from school from other children.
hmm
You know,
And that's not even mentioning what they're being taught in the schools.
right.
You
On
know?
not yeah, exactly. And that's on top of the crap, the programming they're getting from the schooling. Exactly. Exactly. And then everybody goes, "Oh, but you're homeschooling children, they aren't socialized." What do you mean? They're not being bullied, they're not being picked on, they're not being influenced by other people's horribly raised children.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to
Gotta have
stay
that.
in that. They're going to be different. They're not going to fit in with the rest
Then
of
they're gonna be like
society.
the rest of us.
Exactly.
Right.
You're goddamn right they will.
Yeah. You're like, "I socialize with my children. I talk to them. I take them out places with me. I take them, to, cookouts and stuff, or to other people. Like I took them to Bob and
Yeah, they
Candy's
were
the other day,
perfect ladies and gentlemen while they were
right?
here. We had a great
Um,
time
they
playing
get
video
socialized.
games and yeah. Oh yeah.
My daughter plays soccer, you know, they're not they I mean, that was one of the biggest changes. I tell people, I'm like, I feel like I watched them get their innocence back once I took them out of public school and started homeschooling them for a couple of years. It was like they became nicer again.
Oh yeah, they became children again.
Yeah. They weren't like forced out into the world to be exposed to all this garbage.
It's like politics has taken over, you know, kindergarten now even. It's just crazy the stuff that they're pushing on children.
Dude, look at the teacher, the woodshop teacher with the clown tits in Canada. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
I must have missed the memo. What?
Clown tits?
You guys didn't see this?
No, I
Oh,
so don't see stuff.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think I did the shop teacher bullshit.
The woodshop teacher.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I saw this like the beginning of the week. The videos start going around, and there was video that, and a lot of the high schoolers now, they have phones with video, and the woodshop teacher is like wearing these short biker shorts, these big prosthetic like clown tits, and a wig, and it's just ridiculous. And they let this teacher go to that school this way. I mean, it seems like a joke, but it's real. It seems to be
Gotta
real.
be inclusive, Karen. Now, come on.
I mean, it is idiocracy. This world is idiocracy. I mean, I can't even believe it. If I would if that was happening at the school that my children were going to, I would be there yelling at people. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you people?
I mean, this was considered a mental disorder not that long ago, correct? And probably in some countries still is.
Should
You
be.
know,
Yeah.
saying I want to chop off my wiener because I think I'm a woman and get boobs put on me. I mean, that's was considered a mental disorder. This person would be put into like a institution back in the day, not that long ago, and probably still some places now. And I'm not saying that should be done at all, but it should not be glamorized and shoved down children's
It
throats.
shouldn't be in where you put your children in to go learn about things. There should be nothing
Exactly.
about sex or sexuality, or the teacher should not be talking about their sexuality or doing ridiculous things like that, ridiculous physical displays of overt sexuality. I mean, come on. A man showing up to school with prosthetic, gigantic, unrealistic, fake clown tits and a wig. I mean, that is ridiculous. People have lost their minds.
Without
Lost
the
their minds.
without the political clout they have as part of LG, again, the LGBT plus or whatever movement, without that clout, it would have been recognized for what it is, pedophilia and going through, but you have a lot of money invested in this, pushing it. This takes you all around to the whole thing that they took the mothers out of the home and out of the taking care of their children, pushing that they were supposedly being discriminated against and weren't empowered, and that's why and women should all be working and doing this, and they glamorized it and they called it feminism and sold it to the movement. They sold it off to the women and saying that we're going to empower you and let you work, and it pulled them out of them. I mean, it's quite an easy agenda to see backwards going full circle, but that was entirely sold as a lie. They get the parents out so they teach the children, and again, they can completely change the culture, and that the parents are too busy working to be able to deal with it. So these badly raised children, the problem is a lot of them are not raised children, that they have again, they're latchkey kids or whatever. You have parents that are working, both parents doing it because now it takes the two incomes to pay the bills and everything, because of all the money we spend, even again normalizing the system and trying to fix something that's like crazy. I tell people, and Zach does it, go back and watch What's My Line. It's a game show from the 50s and the 60s, starting in the late 40s, I think, and watch what the women were then. A lot of them had jobs. In other words, feminism gained us nothing at all. It didn't gain us equal rights. It didn't gain us equal pay. It didn't gain us anything. It's always been if you could do a job well, you could get paid for your ability. It was an agenda that was sold to us. And then once they had the mothers out, again, they can control the children. And then if anybody's ever watched Super Nanny, another thing, you can go on a binge and see what happens again when the kids have no discipline, no direction, or get to run the house, and especially from parents at work that feel bad that they don't spend time with them or enough time with them, so then they come and they spoil them. So you watch these kids with no manners, no anything, and you look at the trolls and the different pieces of society and say these are the kids that were never told no and have a tantrum and act badly when they don't get their way, and it's part of society now. I mean, look at you two in the trolling. That is a well brought up child would not typically be a troll. Honestly, this is somebody that again cries out for attention that way, because that's how they would get the most attention, is by being bad and having a tantrum. And it was easier than to deal with the tantrum like a parent. It was easier just to appease the child and give in to him. So kudos to you for also disciplining your children in a way that you tell them right from wrong, or how to look, or that you care, and even communicating and not completely disconnecting, because they disconnected us from our children quite intentionally.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
No, thank you. Anybody see the other fun story today on that? There was an Ask Damon. And Ask Damon's question is like, that can't believe I'm totally like scared. I have friends that are anti-vaxxers, not just anti-CBUG vax, but anti-vaxxers all across the board. Do you think it would be right for me to take their kids out and get them vaccinated because I'm taking care of them over the weekend?
What?
Yeah, I could read it. It's under. You could here.
Be like, do you want to die?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to die?
Now, you would think that this would be completely like shut down. Oops, 7 hours ago today, and this 1 hour ago. It's all over today if you say ask Damon. Hi, Damon. My best friend is an anti-vaxxer. Not only CBUG, all of the vaccines. His wife, too. They have a 9-month-old baby, and they haven't vaccinated him. I babysit for them every other weekend. Should I take the baby to get his shots without telling them?
A
Anonymous.
9-month-old?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit. Do you want to die? Like a
It wouldn't even
horrible
be
death.
a pretend, dude. It would be a dismemberment would be involved almost certainly. My God.
Let's see if they let me. Now they're closing off they want me to go to the Washington Post to get the answer, and it was kicking me from there. His answer is like he 100% believes the same as this. I wish I could read the answer, but they booted me from the Washington Post. If I did if somebody else has it, or if you do a whatever marked.
Yeah, I've done too many of their stories this month.
Yeah,
so
I know
can't.
my son is like, if you go into get out of my name and do that, but I'm not good at that either. He's like, well, mom, you just do this. And, but anyway, I did read the answer, and the answer Damon is like, exactly how my feelings on vaccinations are well documented. But just in case you're unfamiliar, a quick refresh that you should trust hundreds of these doctors that went to there and you shouldn't. So he's like 1,000% pro-vaccine and agrees with his friends. But he says, unfortunately, all of the state, or like he said, like 45 of the states have parents signatures required in order to administer vaccines. And the remaining states is talking about teenagers and not babies. And so it's probably not legal to do that. And even though he's 100% with him on how he feels about vaccines, he thinks he might be breaking some laws and might be stepping over bounds a little bit. But he does agree that this baby is being abused, so maybe calling social services would be more appropriate.
People suck, dude.
People suck.
How far do you think that's going to get anybody? Oh, call social services for not being vaccinated. Get the honest.
This is Washington.
They don't vaccinate any of their children ever for anything. Social services. Get the fuck out of here.
The Washington Post pisses me off almost as much as the Atlantic, and I am banned from it because I clicked into the headline saying surely people aren't this dark, like to even have a question like that up there. The headline was, ask David, should I get my anti-vax friend's baby vaccinated without telling them? Happy face. It's Atlantic Journal says that China has it right with the way of controlling and this. And again, this is all part of the little, it's trying to sell us what they want us to know. Gog and Magog, the Gog and Magog war that somebody is going crazy on in the chat saying that it's happening now or whatever. Does anybody know about that? Were you guys looking at that?
Gog and Magog? No.
Yeah, Truth Unveiled, Gog and Magog. They want to know because supposedly child and Russia are Gog and Magog. I can tell you, I've heard all kinds of things. Every year they have a different Gog and Magog. And one of the strongest ones that I thought that was really interesting is when we had George Bush II come into office and start the wars, because a lot of the very Hasidic and religious Jews interpreted it that the Gog from Gog might not be the way that you're reading it. It might even be the sounds. And there's no the Gog sounded that the sounds were different, but they're almost thinking George from George and Gog from Gog were the same in Hebrew written. And they were wondering if it was the George from George war. So there's a lot of different ways to interpret it. I've talked to, again, very religious and different intellectuals on the group. And so hearing that your shirt's the Russians versus China or whatever, it's a possibility, but nobody knows. And I wouldn't take it as certain that that's what's happening and that the world is ending, because there's always a Gog Magog theory going on. Or again, you can always look at something in current events and try to tag it to it. There's so many possibilities with that context and the context it's written in.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about Gog and Magog at all. As far as the story and all that kind of stuff, so I have really no comment. I've heard some of the stuff, but I've never really delved in and looked or any of that stuff, so I don't know. That was never the whole end of the world thing. I quit with that years ago.
Yeah, I went through the phase, like, this will really show my age. There was a book in the 70s, oh Lord, that went around and became like the go-to end of days. Man, I'm trying to get the title in my head right now. It's gone. Anyway, if you were semi even in the Christian looking into the end of days thing, you had this book. God damn it, it's gone. Sorry. But yeah, and then got out of that, and then it all came kind of back around again during the 90s, I suppose, with the whole like NBC's specials about the end of days kind of thing, all the Mary visions and the maps that people were being presented with the, reshaping of our continent by flood waters and just all of this fear porn. And at that point, there was a lot of fear porn actually being pushed into the UFO community that I was kind of investigating quite a lot. And I just got tired of it, kind of like I get tired of it in our community when all the fear starts pushing into the research. It's like, we're researching these things to get out of that fear state, to get out of that constant flight or fright craziness that's got so many people just lost and confused. I definitely don't want to dig deeper. So I just backed out of all of it. I just got away from all that stuff and stopped looking because it was just pushing the fear, pushing the fear.
Yeah, my last go round, I had a couple before. I was looking into the Mayan calendar and this and that, and then it was Nibiru. Nibiru went
Right. There you go. Pushing the
to like
fear.
2012. And then after all that stuff happened, it was supposed to be this giant comet, and they saw it coming, and this and that, and blah 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 blah, and nothing happened. And I was like, "This is all horseshit. All of these things. So I quit eating.
Exactly. After 2012, when nothing happened, I was like, all right, fuck all these predictions. Fuck them all.
Right. That was the final nail in the coffin.
Because
Exactly.
everybody was freaking out about Y2K, 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 blah, 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 right? Well, nothing really happened. The computers were fine. They updated the systems.
They didn't take
over.
Oh, something happened. A lot of people sold a lot of bottled water and a lot of crap. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. It became a fucking like a whole economy at the time, dude. I had
a lot of bullshit happened.
My
but
whole my whole under my stairs was stuffed with stuff. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was ready. I was going to survive this. Oh, it was nuts.
Right, and then the 2012 thing with the Mayan calendar and blah blah blah, right? And then that was a bunch of nothing happened then.
You're leaving out the pole
It
shift
just
in the
came.
middle.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It just came to me. It just popped into my head. Now I know why I couldn't remember the name of the book. It was by Hal Lindsey, and it was called "The Late Great Planet Earth." But oops, you can't write it.
There was a pole shift. I missed the pole shift.
It was a Christian thing. Yeah, it was a
I think
Christian
I was
thing.
waking up to 9/11 around that time, so I might have missed the pole shift. What happened?
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I don't think I got on that one, Cameron.
Yeah, there's a 2005, 2006 big pole shift. We're gonna die. The poles are going to flip, and yeah, it was all gonna be over the same as 1999 and 2012 and 2000 and yeah. there's always, again, if you do that, you can take the scripture, and same with Nostradamus or the different Indian prophecies with the trails and seeing them in the railroad tracks and that. You can match them up with different phenomena, but it's, again, they're kind of codexes. You have nonsense written in with fact, and it's meant to be read and seen when it's meant to be read and seen. In other words, the truth will be obvious when you see it. It'll be like, how couldn't we see this before? But yeah, it's always it always hits you afterwards, like when things really do happen. But yeah, the predictions don't. I've never seen. Well, we haven't. We're still here.
That's why I keep saying, as long as the sun
Are
comes
we
around-
still here? Did we get shifted into some different simulation where they forgot how to spell Berenstain?
Yeah, I'll worry when the sun doesn't come up tomorrow. Then I'll worry.
Exactly.
Besides that, it's all gravy. Everything else is just gravy. May not taste great some days, may taste like shit even, but the sun came around. It's a good day.
Sometimes you have to deal with a little bit more bullshit than other days.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes
Yeah,
a
don't
lot
set
more.
the bar too high. You won't get disappointed so much, you know? My bar's I hope it's a low one. I'm just saying
But
that. The sun come around.
space isn't trying to kill us.
Exactly. The creation that we live in is not trying to kill us. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I love it.
I just really
Yeah.
am thankful about not having to live in fear anymore. I don't, that alone.
That's a game changer.
Oh my
right
goodness, it's such like a freeing thing.
Yeah.
And when I see other people get so bogged down in it, people I love and I'm close to, when they start getting bogged down in some of it, I'm just like a real patient, let them get through it, because I know it, they've had enough exposure, conversations, etc., with me, and knowing, ways to get through all these things, that at some point they'll get on the other side. I had a friend not long ago start getting riled up about this whole September end of whatever days thing, and I'm like, guy, when I started this whole flat earth adventure, it was right at the cusp of the blood, death, quadrivalent moon of doom, end of days, death moon, blood, sort of, it was over. We were done far as I watched this amazing phenomena in the sky overhead and realized that's not a big ball blocking another big ball. So yeah, it's been every other week there's some new prediction of our ultimate demise.
Yeah.
And it's just weary, and I got over it. Yeah, it's so good to be not in that state of mind. It's just freeing.
Well, thanks for spending your first full day of autumn and your final day on Earth here with us. That's real nice of you. Yeah, I guess
Yeah, that's true. It's just a big day. I forgot.
24th tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow's
tomorrow is
All
a
right,
big day.
guys. I love y'all. It's been good. It's been real.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Every September there's something crazy.
I know, every time.
But last couple of years it's been the 23rd, not the 24th. I don't know. Trying to mix it up, like
Well, they don't want to mess up.
That means it's real.
They didn't want to mess up your Friday. I mean, that's the last day of work. You're trying to get to the bar before happy hour's over. We'll put that off till Saturday.
a whole bunch of money Friday night. That's right. Got to let people get their paychecks and go buy all that bottled water.
Right.
Oh, also in tragedy world, in my part, as far as school kids, what they've learned through the pandemic is with the, online schooling or that, they in New York City and in other places are officially canceling snow days for the kids. So when there's blizzards and big snowstorms, they no longer get the day off. They can sit at home and be on the computers all day with the teachers. How productive do you think that will be on a snow day? Yeah, taking away all the snow days, the things that you dream about and wish for, to go out and play with the snow. They want.
I thought because of global warming that there just wouldn't be any snow anymore.
That's the rub.
No, there's going to be more snow because come on, Zach,
the
science it
internet
up,
is
man.
out.
Science
what
it
if the
up.
storm puts the internet out?
Yeah. It isn't my house. That's
It
for
did
damn
at my
sure.
house. Yeah, the line is laying out
Our
there
internet
on top
was
of the
out.
snow. I don't know how it happened. There's a big trough dug up. It's like the snow is really powerful.
Cillian says it's already the 24th here, so we won't believe what happened.
Bye,
in the
Mike.
chat. I'm not going to
Bye,
believe what
Mike. We love
happened.
you.
It's over. It's all
Wait,
over.
flood of fire started raining from the sky. Big ball of marshmallows to roast. He's ready. Over there, Prime CD is. I'm jumping back in chat, playing catch up.
That's good because the Anunnaki are coming back for their gold, and they should be arriving on Planet X any minute now.
I know some guys that have been storing it up for them.
Remember the one thing about Nibiru that just made so much sense when FE came around, and Nemo mentioned this in earlier, shout out Nemo in chat, was that they always said that Nibiru was coming from the south pole of Earth. So nobody could see it in the sky, but these big telescopes that were all looking south, that's what they were looking at, they were looking for Nibiru. That was the reason that all these telescopes were looking out to the south.
Well, that makes sense because obviously that was a distraction.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And even BCB in chat says Nibiru was supposed to be here in 2017, which is, I recall, and from my remembrance and my panics, was 2012.
Right.
I thought that
and
was
then 2014. Yep.
Yeah, we've been worried about it since the what was it, Stitchian? Back around Sitchin. Not Stitchian.
Sitchin.
Zachariah Sitchin.
Yeah. They keep bringing it around for people who didn't hear about it, and then they get their little following again, and then it doesn't happen, and then they go away for a year or so, and then they start it back up again, and with a new later date.
Like, hey, we grew lettuce in space for the first time. I said we grew lettuce in space for the first time.
Oh yeah, space rice, space risotto. What was the whole thing? We talked about it recently. Oh, never mind. That was the airplane thing with the whole vision different, looking north versus looking south. Things are weirdly different when looking at the two different directions. No, nobody remembers that.
I remember that.
Okay. When you were talking about the south view and the Nibiru and what we know about potentially the other lands and the bodies they exist under potentially, and just all those things. It's interesting stuff. I've gone down that other land rabbit hole quite a few times, as you guys probably know. And now it's really stirred up with the maps and the book.
Well, it's highly probable.
Yeah,
I think
to me is.
It really just seems like it would be so easy.
Answers so many
I keep saying it. All they have to do is leave it off the map.
Yep.
All they have to do is leave it off the map because it'll just be blank there, and they'll be like, "There's no reason to go over there, and I don't have enough fuel to go over there, and I'm not risking my life to go. I'm not doing that." Like that's all they have to do. Just leave it off the map.
Leave it off the grid lines entirely.
Yeah.
You don't see it, it's not there. Oh, speaking of see it, hang on, let me show you guys what somebody shared. Let me go see who shared it. I don't want to give credit where it's undue.
Real quick.
I think it was. Go ahead. I think it was.
I was just going to say while you're looking, isn't there a lot of weird stuff with the international date line and the time zones and how that all works? That they could be hiding a huge swath of land or swath of ocean out there.
That almost looks more like a folding, and I almost wonder if it's the other way on it too, unfolding in. There is deception going on the international date line and all kinds of funky times in practice.
Yeah, and it's not just the north too, and the south. I mean, there's
the south,
especially the south, and it doesn't even have to be like that. It doesn't have to be that big, right? But it could be big enough to where it's like, a country size, like I don't know, England size, or bigger than that. Could be.
Even from a plane. All it has to do is be like 250 miles away, and you're not going to be able to see it, even from 30-something thousand feet.
Exactly.
Huge swaths of ocean out there that are never, flown over. At least
that people would never see it, especially if they're not looking for it.
Yeah.
Even if they're looking for it, it would be hard to see if they just kept it out of angular vision, right? They just kept it
Right.
far enough away where they just get the angular vision
Speaking
was
of
small enough.
angular vision,
Yeah, exactly.
dude, this broke my brain. Thank you, Zombie Snoop shared it in our Iron Realm chat over there. I missed it completely. There's so much stuff out there I can't keep up. It obviously came from our buddy, your partner in crime there, Mark Sargent's channel. Guys, just hold
Yeah.
on if you somehow haven't seen this.
Hey
I've got
guys,
the audio
we're
off.
going to be showing you the shrinking mill today in Port Colborne, and this is a
My
mystery.
bad. I have the audio external, not internal. Give
Sound
me a
about right.
sec.
Thought.
Yeah, but that's coming through my mic, and I know it'll start farting out. So, all right, should be coming out for you guys.
Hey
better.
guys, we're going to be showing you the shrinking mill today in Port Colborne, and this is a mystery in Canada, Ontario that no one really knows how it works. So let's go. So just keep your eye on that big building back there and watch the size of it as we get closer and closer. Now, normally when you drive closer to something, wouldn't you think it gets bigger? But in this case, it shrinks, hence the word the shrinking mill. But watch as you get super duper close. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Look how small it is.
Yeah, that really doesn't
and we
make
were
sense.
all the way back down that hill, and no one even knows
Like
how it
so
works.
much, it doesn't make sense. I've watched it about 10 times trying to
Yeah.
understand it. And
This is what I was talking about with Travis this morning.
I knew, yeah, that's why.
The cars
that's
on
why
the
he.
highway and the trucks look enormous, dude. They look like they're like 50 yards away.
It's the one that comes around the curve that made me a little sus right there. That one, because of the video quality, it looked like it could have been doctored, but I think it's just video quality. You see, as that truck comes around the curve,
Well, it's also a distorted image that
and the
thing
image being
is
distorted from way out.
right?
Yeah, there's a lot here that's just kind of. I don't know. I want to be there. And if anybody, I know we have our buddy Alan that was here earlier but left. That's in Canada. Anybody who's at all familiar with the reality of this place, or somebody that might know somebody, or make a 30-minute trip, an hour trip, something. Go see this for us, man.
I know. I would love to go see that or anything like that, because I remember when that video came out, and just like you, Walt, I watched it repeatedly, because I was like, "That's got to be fake," and I was like, "That just blows my mind. Just blows my mind." Great video.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, I was trying to get things stopped, and it was playing in my ear, and I couldn't answer y'all. Sorry, but yeah, I just can't. Yeah, no, I don't know. That too much. Too much. And then you have to think, okay, so is that like that building looked unusual? You know, they called it a mill, I believe. Is that what you called it?
Mm-hmm.
So that would lead it to be an older building, maybe a mud flood building. So maybe that whole thing was set that way. They saw the effect of the atmospheric lensing down that corridor of that area of that hillside, cliffside. You know what I'm saying? And they designed that building in the distance just for that. I mean, think about some of the crazy shit we found out they could do. The little pinhole camera thing showing stuff on the wall inside the house. That idea. The artist copying shit perfectly with visionary lensy things. So maybe they did a huge one. Let's put a building at the end of this, because when that bird flew by, it looked like a giant bird, etc. Things they've seen, you know? So they put that building there just for that effect.
Yeah,
just
there
throwing it out
are
there.
multiple videos. If you just put the shrinking building, the shrinking building in Canada,
yeah,
it pops up. I found 5 or 6 videos. Some are in winter. It happens all times a year, it looks like. There was the one at night, it even happened. I think it has something to do with the angle. I'm telling
you. That's what I'm saying. It had to be that somebody saw an event. They saw a bird fly by. They saw a boat go over there, and it was suddenly huge. And it was like, what? Let's build a building out there, and it'll look weird or whatever. I don't know.
Jenny Spark on Rackfin says, yeah, let's verify this one. I'd be real curious to see if that sits on a star fort.
What does that have to do with mud flood? That's what I want to know. What does mud flood have to do with the optical illusion?
The building itself, the antiquity look of that building. That's all I was saying. That it looks like that building may have been there quite a while before they used it as a mill.
Oh, okay.
As they reuse a lot of the old buildings that have been around for different purposes, sometime in antiquity, a phenomena they saw made them build that building there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Which is why I was thinking star forts, because what if
and then
this
if
is
it's
a
on a fucking
phenomenon with
star
other
fort?
star
Oh my
forts
God.
that because they only limit the access as to how we can view it and access it, that maybe that you get that effect from other star forts. You just aren't ever allowed to see it, but it's
You
because
don't
of
get to
the
see
ley
it.
lines, the energetics, whatever reason they wanted to put star forts there. I don't know. I'm just talking out of
Yeah,
my ass.
what's the
Maybe it's
place
not on the
called,
star
Zach?
fort at
I'm
all.
going to do a
Port
Google search.
Colborne, Ontario.
Live research.
So it is a fort at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that
Oh yeah, it's got to be there.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll find the name. Colborne. Port Colborne.
Oh, port.
Yeah. Port.
Port,
With the P.
yes.
Gotcha. I got you. Yeah, with a P, not an F. I thought
What's
you
the
said
phonetic
port.
for that, Josh? P?
Hey, what's the phonetics for P?
What's that alphabet called?
Oh,
Where you,
the phonetic alphabet. Yeah, that generally it's Papa.
Papa. Okay.
All right, hold on. I guess I'll just pull up my screen again if we're going to do live research and do it with you guys. Hold on. All right, so here's Port Colborne. Images from above, from aerial view, whatever. Oh, interesting. Some of these old ones. Where's the Oh, here it is. That's the one I want to look at of the actual building. Huh. It definitely seems to be something that was put there, and it's definitely not as old as I thought it was earlier when we saw it. Earlier, it looked like an older building.
Like it was.
That whole place looks like it was built,
Yeah.
canals and etc. So maybe it was a more recent someone saw a boat passing by and went, hey, let's build that thing there. I mean, the random chance of that being exactly there are way more than astronomical, asteroid impactful, whatever numbers you want to throw at it. I can't see that being an accident in any
Add
way.
construction to the end of that search, Walter.
What do they do there?
Ah, that's a good question.
NASA stuff.
Wait,
I bet.
hold on. I can't get behind my own little drop down. That's aggravating to do the search. Construction. Oh, I thought it would pop up. It did not.
It's safe to say it's owned by Treyarch or Vanguard or one of these
What happened?
corporations, right?
Yeah, Umbrella.
Wow, a fire. Crazy. That's crazy there. I mean, construction, I'm not seeing any. Oh, interesting building. I'm not really seeing a star for it though, or any of that. I do see that it's called the
Well,
Robin
it's not a
Hood
star
Mill.
fort, but it definitely looks like they.
See, the building, the brick part of that looks different than the metal part. Like they added the metal part on later.
Well, what the heck are we looking at? Which part is the one that we see in the video?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Right
It's just
there.
a different angle. Like that's the
from the
angle,
backside,
maybe
I think.
from the backside we saw it coming in. I guess what, disappear or
Do they do stuff? There's cars in the picture, so they must still do something in that building. What does it do?
there it is from that angle, I guess. I'm not sure, guys. I'm seeing what you're seeing as I'm looking around, just trying to dig around. It's more the images I'm trying to find, but I'm not really seeing much except this that seems to be the mill.
Port Colborne?
Here's a image of it. And
There you go. This credible shrinking mill. Okay.
A federal grain elevator mill in the distance. Interesting. If you guys aren't reading this, I guess I can. As far as, hang on.
You gonna wear those glasses or?
Yeah, I've been trying to look at some glasses. You think those will
Similar
work?
to the optical illusion
The white one?
experienced at gravity and magnetic hills and various vortex and mystery spots found throughout the world, it has everything.
Every other thing that fucks up our lives and
Has
bullshit
everything
we've
to do with-
spun your way. This is another one of those that fucks
Yeah,
it right
yeah.
up.
It has everything to do with your ability to see the horizon line, which, when first approaching the mill, you cannot. Because of this, it appears much larger than it is. That's not why. That's a lame.
That's so lame.
So
So
because
lame.
I see a building top off in the distance and it's blocked at the bottom by trees, it's going to look enormous. No, push it.
The moon.
Cray cray.
Hold on.
Telling you, it's that angle. It's that angle, like right when you're looking up. For some reason, it happens right out here. Right out here in the wintertime when all the leaves are gone, the cars on the highway look enormous. When you realize how far away they are, it just doesn't make sense. It boggles my mind.
I think you're right. I think it's the axis that you're looking at instead of straight across, that looking slightly up that you very
How do you get down the
rarely.
road level? I don't know how to do this map shit.
Hey, Alexa.
I really don't know how to do it. I mean, it said if you go to Street View and do the drive down this road, it will do the actual thing, and I want to see it happen.
Usually you click
got
on the
space
street.
shirts here. What the? Yeah, I've double clicked, I've triple clicked, one click.
Well,
I'm
mine
looking for
usually
that
gets
little
a bottom.
dude icon.
Yeah,
that-
the little says
yeah,
Street View map. Yeah.
Where's it at? Let me get. No. I'm gonna probably. I'm failing. Yeah. And so you drive out, and then it's way over here somewhere, I'm guessing. Oh wait, it's that far? I don't even have a ruler on here. I was gonna see how far that is across to the mill. It does seem to be a bit of a stretch, if you know what
Is
I'm
that
getting.
Gravelly Bay or what is that?
Gravelly Bay.
Gravely.
Gravely.
Yeah, somebody else who's more adept at Google Maps, get on this and share, because I can't get the Street View. But if we could drive down Lakeshore Road,
milling,
we'll see it happen, allegedly.
Milling, is it like they
are they
mill
right? What kind of milling
or,
is it?
Yeah.
Right? I'm not getting
Any
any
wood
clicking
there.
in.
Well, I think because it's like a grist mill, because it's a grain elevator, I'm guessing.
Okay. That's what I say, or grain mill.
I'm so bad at this map thing. Maybe I should have gone to Earth, Google Earth, instead of maps. Maybe that's what it is.
Wouldn't overwater be a bad place to store grain?
You know, I
No.
thought that.
Wouldn't that be kind of no?
Not if you're trying to cheaply transport it quickly across
Very
the lake.
good.
Yeah.
Josh is
Okay.
on top of it.
Okay,
yeah,
Josh.
drive it there, drop it off. Yeah, most of our grain mills in Indiana
big old
were
shipping
right by the
container
railroad.
ships over there.
Yeah, I know behind it. I know. I was actually looking at the water patterns, interestingly, but I know they take these photos.
That big old dock they got for big old shipping ships. Yeah.
But yeah,
Huge
this is a distance of interesting amounts. If I could figure out, I can't even get to like a open map. Maybe that's it. No maps found. Share of map, create new map. Yeah, that ain't it. I don't know. These dots. Map details. Boom.
Might be zoom. You might have to zoom in close enough to the street before it'll give you the
Oh,
option.
Lord, but where? Man, what are all these marks?
You know what?
that
I'm going
they
to
have
break
on
out
my
the
map?
sextant tomorrow. I haven't played with it in a while. And I'm going to measure the angle at what that highway is at.
Okay, I'm going to go to Google it. That's what.
Well, they say that like sundogs only occur
Good
at
Lord.
specific angles.
Do I have to download it? I think I did.
So I'd be curious with your sextant what you measure.
I think it would be that the sun has to be in in certain positions.
Here we go. We're going to the Earth. I've heard of this place.
Yeah, and like the moon and the sun getting real big is always near the horizon, you know?
Right. And they say
never
it's
like a
because
huge moon
Uh-huh.
at well, when it's at its highest point. It's always real small when it's up there.
Oh shit.
Here we go. I was on the wrong application.
Oh, right
That's
there.
all
Okay,
that
so that's the
was.
There
road
we
to drive
go.
down to see
Oh, it's making me dizzy. Okay, let me get on the road.
that.
Makes the curve easier to believe.
Oh, come on. Is it not going to go down? What I got to do? Straight here. Anyone?
Take a shower and
Anyone?
ask nicely.
There's just
I
some big
do.
fancy houses right
There's
there.
a person. There's a dude.
Yeah.
I remember this. Oh, I was doing it. I blew it.
A pool in Canada? Well, I guess
There's
is this
dude.
over on
There's a
the
dude
west?
on the road.
Dude, there's a bunch of pools on this road.
Whoa! He did it, ladies.
There we go.
Oh, shit.
Woohoo!
Oh, shit. Let's
We
go
did it.
for a ride. Let's go for a ride.
I think you're
We're
going,
going right in.
are you going the right way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't see it at the bottom of the road down there?
Yeah. Wow, this is a nice place.
Oh shit!
Get over. Okay, they got out of the way. I was about to say, I'm coming up
Summer,
fast.
winter, it's
Looks
I wonder
like
what everybody thinks about everybody driving down their street with the
I
nice
know. Can you
houses. Like on
imagine
Google.
how much?
horses.
Well,
Look
you
at the
see,
horses.
this side of the road has much more wear than the other side of the road.
Uh-huh.
You can see it. You can see it at the end of the road.
Uh,
Look, look.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If there was a way to do this faster, I would. Maybe. I'm trying to. The view's better now. Okay.
turn on jog
I'm
mode.
learning. Yeah. Wait, I took a left. Where did I go?
Don't go past 4. Oh, yeah, maximum 40.
40
That's
miles an hour and 40
Kilometers.
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 Okay. I was
Kilometers.
gonna say that's flying in a neighborhood.
No. 40 kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in Canada.
You're in Canada, though, right? Those loony Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Oh, get out. No, I'm scared.
Dangerous
Whoa! What was
driver,
that little
dangerous
swerve?
driver.
Yeah, they saw somebody had to swerve around a squirrel. What?
Heads up
Bondage
about driving with a
squirrels.
wall.
Look at that shit.
It's
Look,
Canada,
y'all,
so
it's
it's
gotten
big.
smaller.
probably a goose.
Getting smaller.
It's gotten smaller in the view of the thing. It's staying
Yes,
the
it
same
has.
or whatever.
Mhm.
That's pretty nuts. Now we're gonna do that weird turn thing. Why is that there? That's bizarro world stuff. Is that how you guys turn in Canada?
Whoa.
Everybody drive with a trailer?
That's it. Right. Big trucks. Oh, yeah. There we go. There it is,
And there
guys.
it's gone.
It got small. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. You notice how the view is still looking over at it, though?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
It's
Now it's not
straight
looking at the
focused.
road so much.
Yeah, it did it. I didn't do that. That's awesome. Whoever set this up, it's pretty cool. All right. Well, y'all saw it. When I saw it, it's all true, right? If it's on the computer screen.
And what direction? What direction is the road going?
Google Earth proof.
Forward.
Think it's
No.
you're wanting me to do
What
more
direction?
tricks.
I want to
Okay,
know what
let's go
direction.
back
Just
up.
like you guys were talking
Woo!
earlier, and I don't know if it had to do with this,
Are we in
but
the same spot? What
looking to the north is different from looking from the south. The way that your eyes register is correct.
You
Okay,
hit the
there it-
speed bump too fast, Walt.
I did. Oh shit! I did. I went way up on that one. Okay, so that direction, that way, Cammy, is the way it's going up to the screen. There. I don't
so
see a north, south, east, west. Is there some?
looks like it might
look,
be.
here we go. So
All the pools. See, there's like 1, 2.
okay, so if that's north,
bunch of them.
then it's going east,
So it's
Is
going
that
straight
correct?
east.
and that's dead east. But that's dead north. Am I doing this right? Yeah. So it's going head east. They're a real good band.
What's the
Head
altitude?
east. Now come on, man. Do you know how good I'm doing so far here?
I just
You're
figured
gonna throw that at me?
that might be on one of those, informations on your basic
Trivia
Google search.
test.
Well, basic
That's
Google
a nice
search
place.
might
I
give you
mean,
the
where do you see
latitude, the
that?
longitude, and the altitude
Where do you
above sea
see
level.
that? Where's that? Be?
Oh,
Fly to your location.
yeah, and then wave.
Oh, my current location. No. We don't need to see where I live. I know where I'm at. Dave knows. What's up, Dave? What? Like that. Okay.
Mark knows. What's up, Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah, this was
I
what,
don't know. I don't know what to
2015,
do, guys.
16? This was early when
We'll
Mark
back
showed
it
this
up
one.
really far out and see if
I can't
anything
remember. I
just
posted the
pops
link
out
in the chat.
here. That waterway does go a
Got
long way north.
26,000 views on Mark's channel.
Wainfleet Bog Conservation Area.
Mark, who is now at 101,000 subs.
No doubt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
get Mark
I
back
guess
on
we
here. We
can get
haven't
over
talked to Mark in
this, but
fucking
it's
forever.
pretty crazy. Yeah, I know, man. I was
No,
thinking
it's
that
been
the other
forever.
day. I was looking through some old stuff and I saw the promo I made for that first appearance when I did it. Like, who's it gonna be? Can you guess? For like 3 or 4 promos. It's like we need to get him back. We've had him back since then, but we need to get him back. For sure.
And
We
Jared,
need
I
to.
actually talked to of all people today. I was over there. Oh, I'm sorry, I dropped something completely. Anyway, Douglas Fault was on Facebook when I was looking at some katana stuff earlier, and I shouted out to him. So I'm trying to get him on, catch up with those Dougie boys. I hadn't talked to him in a long time either.
Nice. I've been wondering about him.
I
on and
had
off
too. It was
the
like
last
I had
couple
thought
months.
about him recently, and there he was. So, all right, let me close this Google Earth. I'm sure it's pulling on my computer a bit. And I have not been in chat for quite a long time. What are you guys up to?
So how
Do
are
you have a
things coming along with Flattoberfest, Karen? Are we everything still go?
Oh, yeah. Everything's going for sure.
Awesome.
Flattoberfest is happening. Everything is reserved and booked and just kind of waiting for it to get here. The only thing I have to do is now we're just working on getting the shirts done and then it'll be the name tags. And it'll be much easier this year because there will be no not single name tags. Now this year I just ordered buttons. I made these little buttons that say single flat earther. They're like, pins that you could just pin on your shirt. So anybody who wants to be a single flat earther can have their button and pin it on their shirt, and then
That's epic.
makes my life easier.
if
Right?
a
Everybody
family
finds
comes, do
each
they
other.
get a
And then
plural?
we'll have more flat Earth babies. Wait, what happened to? Where?
Well, right. And then if they
Precisely.
do have more flat Earth babies, do they still get single buttons or do they get plural buttons?
Well, then they just don't need the single buttons anymore. Then they get to retire their
3
single
is a
flat earther
magic
buttons or
number.
pass them on to another flat earther.
Right. Flat cycle. You got to flat cycle them up.
Dredd says,
That's-
don't forget the patches.
That's what
He
I was gonna
loves the
say.
patches, Karen.
I didn't do patches. I was gonna. Who? Wait.
Dredd, Musicians for Truth.
Oh, because I sent him some patches. Yeah. I'm not doing patches because I never see anybody sporting them, so I just stopped making them.
It's a very narrow group of folks who patch anymore. It's either metalheads, like
The Flat Earth Biker Club.
Their band or bikers. Exactly. That was the next.
Yeah, so I
group
just
I was
decided not to
going
do
for.
patches, and instead of getting getting free patches, you get your shirt.
Nice.
It costs way more to make a shirt than it does to make a patch. Let me
does
tell
it ever.
y'all.
My God, they're
Okay.
gone out of control right now. I don't even paste our Teespring link anymore. It's gotten so expensive over there.
So
You
you
got
have
promo
Karen in
codes now.
there. You have. I know this sounds weird, but I had a dream with Karen in it last night. She was a bartender. Laugh out loud.
What's up?
A bartender? That's hilarious.
Now you were also in somebody's dream at my party, Shauna's dream at the party, and I don't think you were a bartender. You were getting an award or something, or what was happening in her? You're showing up in people's dreams, Karen. This is pretty.
She said I was getting an award. Yeah, that's weird.
Nice.
That's a little weird.
I think it's nice that Karen's in everybody's dreams. A little weird, but
As long as it's
very
good
nice.
dreams and not bad dreams, I guess.
Bartender is kind of fun. I could be. Yeah.
Big shout out to Unkaleleko Duma, whom we.
Dude, I just was typing my greetings to Nuka Cola as I was trying to hit my mute button. You got there. What's up, brother? We talked about you this morning. You were greatly missed. Hope things are safe. Hope things are good with you and yours, my buddy. Miss you, definitely. Come hang out with us when you can. Let us know. We'll make it happen for you. Hell, we'll record something on your time if we have to.
That is wild. We were just talking
I know,
about
right?
on the show. Yeah. earlier.
We're all summoning people of late. Douglas, Karen, Nuka.
Surely Bob has some leathers he could patch up and
Right.
ride around.
Bob has some leathers. Bob and
I
I
know
both
he
have
does.
nice chaps. Yeah, we got leathers.
Still have some patches, just a few from
Bob just
2020
put
and
in
2021.
chat. There's a Harley biker tour group called Glowbusters on YouTube.
Oh, that's epic, my friend.
That is awesome, dude.
Sherry
I
says,
have something.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, mine's going to take a little bit longer, so you go first.
I could just highlight it up on the screen because it made me laugh. Nope, I said highlight it. So I'm done.
While you're highlighting that, thank you, Liz. I saw that pair you gave us for Super Chat. Thank you, babe. Love you.
Sherry Ives says, people who do patches wear leather bracelets with their name stamped on them and sleep in hammocks.
I always think about blazing saddles and patches. We don't need no
Don't need no stinking.
We
badges.
don't need no
Those are
stinking
badges.
patches.
Those are badges, not patches. But yeah, badges, patches.
Are for those really in the know. Badgers? Badgers? We don't need no stinking badgers. No.
Love
That was a deep cut. That was a deep
That
cut.
is funny. That is the worst movie ever to watch on mainstream TV because they cut.
They can't show anything, can they?
They cut everything, even like when they're tooting around the campfire after eating the beans. They cut the tooting sounds, and it's like you're kidding.
Yeah, some of it just don't make it.
You can do South Park and things like
regular
that, but you
TV.
can't do Blazing Saddles. But yeah, I don't get it.
I just watched that maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, and there's this interesting little dude in the last scene when the cowboys break into the scene with the fourth wall, break into the dance routine. And I don't know. I'll find the video I made actually about it and see if I can dig it up.
Is he a time traveler? Is he on a smartphone?
There's something about it. I'll have to go find my video. Hang on. Move on. Oh, what'd you give us here, Karen?
Oh, that's just it's a screenshot of the button I made for the single flat earthers
cool.
that I'm going to hand out at Flattoberfest.
It wants me to save and I can't save it. Share it. I can't make it happen. I don't know what's going on. I didn't switch my hard drive.
I could do it.
Or I could screen share it.
You have power, I think. Shared the power.
She does.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't now. The one person I didn't do as soon as she got there.
The only one that didn't have power.
Try now.
Wow, epic.
There.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I need one of those for my guitar strap. If I don't come, I'll have to sit somebody to mail me one.
You know, OBS is such a pain in my
dick. If you aren't able to show up, Walt, I might be able to mail you. What?
We'll talk. I'll play a song for you.
Although I'd rather you show up.
I really am. Like, it's y'all don't even know the struggles I'm doing trying to make this happen. She's looking at me even as I'm saying it right now.
I got it.
She knows we're trying.
Yeah, it's just, you can't stop the press.
I want one that says double flat earther with cheese.
Oh, I love it.
Cheddar, no ketchup.
Well, you're definitely inspiring all kind of folks, and making this thing happen, lady, has been a powerful thing. So thank you, truly. And if I don't make it this year, then you're just gonna have to do one in New Orleans, damn it.
New Orleans.
I'll get together with Jason and Rose, and we're gonna make it happen on this side. Yeah.
Maybe I'll start playing the lottery, and if I win, I'll have one here in St. Louis before I leave to be your neighbor.
I know, right? That seems to be the destination.
When I have Flattoberfest in St. Louis, and then immediately move to South Carolina.
Speaking of inspiration, you inspired me, even as we were speaking earlier about our negligence towards our lovely Patreons. I posted a video for them in our little Patreon area just for you guys. Enjoy.
Very nice. And Josh, I don't know if you're ready for me, but I wanted to share screens because I have something that can tie in the illusions and Flattoberfest and everything all together, I think. And even your Tartaria or ancient stuff, however you want to call it. But have we talked about the Chinese? I'm going to do this because this is something I am bringing to Flattoberfest at Zack and my table, and it's called a Chinese magic mirror. And this is fabulous, and it was expensive because only 3 manufacturers in the world make these right now, and this caught my eye as this is old tech. The Chinese magic mirror is an ancient art that can be traced back to the Chinese Han Dynasty from 206 BC to 24 AD. The mirrors are made out of solid bronze. The front is a shiny polished surface and can be used as a mirror, while the back has a design cast in bronze. When bright sunlight or other bright light reflects onto the mirror seems to become transparent. If the light is reflected from the mirror towards the wall, the pattern on the back of the mirror is then projected onto the wall. That's not what's happening at all. It's a solid brass mirror. But this is, I'm going to show you a demo of it. Can you hear that?
No, ma'am. My guess would be you did not check that little box.
Okay, I'm going to pop out and see if I can do it again.
Just stop the video and reshare, and you'll see there's 2 check marks at the bottom.
2 check marks at the bottom, which I think I might have to stop sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing first.
Yeah,
stop sharing. And then when you hit share, you'll see at the bottom, share sound and optimize video clip to the left.
Got it. And make this one full screen again and share. And let's start this. It's just a short video. I will be bringing this, and I'll talk a little bit after they show it. Again, the tech involved and how brilliant.
Here's a beautiful, elegant box from China. I do like these brass hinges, and I love these anti-slip devices on it. Well, what's inside? Well, let's see. One of my all-time favorite optical toys, the magic mirror. Well, what packaging for it? For the first time ever, it's got a stand, which I've never had with all my other magic mirrors. And the thing itself is beautifully packaged, complete with a tassel and all. The mirror's on the back, but what you're going to see eventually on the back of the mirror is this sign of the zodiac, the Chinese version of it was the year of the horse and so on. But the mirror itself, apparently, is completely blank. I mean, that's how you set it up. It works best of all with sunlight. If you get the sunlight hitting it at an angle from the sky, the image here will be unbelievably clear. It's really the best way. But I'm going to show it in a minute with a torch. So this is it's a Chinese mirror. I can see my face in it. It's a curved one, but if I turn it towards the camera, oh, there we are. Look, that's Tim's face. So it is working as a mirror. That's the main thing. But it does something much more magical because the image that's on the back apparently comes straight through it. So to set it up, we provide the box and the mirror, but not the torch. Now I'm going to demonstrate it with. But we've put it over here, and in order to make it work well for just non-sunlight, but with a torch, we're going to dim the studio lighting, and then it'll work extremely well, and I'll show it to you. So that's how it's going to start. With the lights dimmed, you'll see something quite remarkable. So the mirror is set up, and this is the torch, my own torch, which I'm going to provide with it. Turn the torch on, and I'm using just a bit of paper, that's all. So the mirror itself has been turned away from you. That's the image we're going to see in a minute. But when we shine on what should be a completely blank screen, the front bit, the front mirror, somehow an image appears. This image as we saw on the back is being magnified. I can magnify it even more, bring it, but that gets out of focus. So there's a compromise where you can magnify it either by bringing the torch closer or the paper further away. But at a certain point, it's probably at the crispest and sharpest of the images. Let's see if I can get the whole of the pattern into the paper. About there. I'm getting almost the entire pattern now into paper. It'll work very, very much stronger in sunlight, which you'll have to try. But as a torch, using my torch on this, it's really quite remarkable. I'm seeing a perfect reproduction of that front design of the Chinese zodiacal signs. Quite extraordinary. The magic mirror.
That's crazy.
Now,
So you
Karen,
can hide things on a mirror.
right. Karen wondered why, like, I
Well,
paid,
go
and it
ahead.
was expensive. It was like $100 for the mirror. But again, the technology behind this was something that they were doing 206 BC to 24 AD. They are finding these mirrors in museums that they had no idea that they
Right.
have
I
coded
have a story
messages
I'm
in them.
looking for right now about that very thing we
And
were
so
talking about.
all you'd have to do is put it in a room that did not, on a wall facing that did not get direct sunlight. And if you knew what to look for, like a size or a shape of a mirror, that you would take it off of the wall, take it to where it faces sunlight, and you could project it onto the wall there. But it would have nobody, again, these have been in museums for years and years and years, and forever, and people weren't even aware that they just thought that they were antique mirrors. They didn't realize that they had this embedded. They do not. I've looked into them a lot. The way on the construction, what's on the back has nothing to do with what it projects, first of all. And there are some made that have entirely different backs than fronts, or again, ones that don't have backs at all. But the best explanation on how they're made is before, when you're polishing the bronze and everything, before you get to the last part of like putting a silvering coating on it, they were using probably like a lemon juice or something and drawing it in and letting it acid etch microns deep, like 4 to 5 microns, which is 4 to 5 thousandths of a millimeter. Again, much less than a hair width. And you don't see it. You wouldn't see it like drawn in with like a lemon juice and that. And then if you were to silver it over the top of it, is where you get the effect of it, but you don't see anything with your eyes at all. Now, this was something that was done 206 BC to 24 AD, that they understood the optics and could, again, hide things in mirrors. And so when you're talking about different old texts and things that they can do, or how they look at things differently, that was fascinating. It also had them going back in the same era and dynasty, the 206 to 24 AD, is when the first compasses were made. They called them magnetic or south facing fish or whatever, because they understood it was a south magnetic pole, not a north. And they understood this at 24 AD, 200, again, before, in the BC, early AD period. They had working compasses that they understood exactly where they were pointing, and that so much of the tech, the better tech even than we're using and how they used it, was done in this area, in this Han Dynasty. And so I wanted this traditional Chinese mirror. There are only 3 manufacturers in the world, and so you wind up overpaying for a little solid bronze mirror. But I found again, the idea of it, that they were doing it, completely fascinating. They did other ones. Record of Ancient Mirrors described the method of crafting solid bronze mirrors with decorations, written characters or patterns that reverse side can cast these reflections. They did it in vases. They did it with all kinds of different things. And again, right now we'll look at it and not realize that it's even there, but think of, again, what could be done to pass things down with items like this. South facing fish, I think, on the compass. I should stop doing this, but let me see. Yeah, the compass is a magnometer used. History started more than 2,000 years ago during the Han dynasties. They were made of bloodstone, and it was called the south pointing fish. They say it was used for land navigation by the 11th century, and that they were using it for divination and other purposes there. But I don't believe that. I don't believe that they would find something that gave them that type of direction, and would only use it for gods and divination instead of directions and navigation. But again, I don't think many of us know how old this tech is. And so when we're talking about, I know that there's some recent videos about declination not being real. the declination came long before the globe, and the declination was simply that when you had, it was a way to, if you do this, if you draw under the North Star, draw a column going straight down and call that again, like make it a pole column. It was simply how many angles you had to, on a sextant or that, measuring how far you had to shift from where your magnet was pointing, your south fish was pointing, to actually where you saw the column. And people collected and traded that information because it shifted very, very little. And it was a way that, again, if it was a cloudy sky or even daylight, where again you don't have the North Pole to navigate and you don't have some of your other items, it gave you a really, again, a way to find out where you were and where you were going that was reliable. And so I think that what they did on our maps that we're looking at now on the declinations, and Karen will tell you it took 3 pieces to put it together and paste and do this, to look at it as the AE. They make it very confusing and they don't put all the maps together on one. They confuse it, but this is, they disguise it and they hide it and they make it as confusing as possible. They turn what would be a magnetic South Pole into a North Pole. They make the different poles. They put all of the stuff out there to you to confuse you in reading it, because you don't want to see the simplicity of the fact that what a compass is no different than when you have a ferrocell and you have little pieces of iron reacting to a magnet and aligning in the field. That's all the compass is picking up Earth's magnetic field and aligning itself to that field because it's free floating. So it's something that is very real, that's been going on for thousands of years that we know about, and they hide the globe with it a little bit by making it so confusing and so, again, tech heavy to look at, when it's very, very simple. It's just a couple of feet away, or again, how much you turn between where you would see that call, the north end of the North Pole, and what your little magnetic fish is pointing to. And it's was there with the different things long before they tried to sell us the ball. So the ball just tried to make it confusing, but it is something that is very real, is very happening, and has throughout history. And they had to, it would give away what they did with the ball, so they had to disguise how it's presented.
Yeah. Well, you can measure the declination, the magnetic declination, if you spend a day tracking the sun and you align your little sheet to north. You can, at the end of the day, you can figure out your declination right there.
Right there.
On your own. And you don't have to have anybody tell you what it is.
And you could also do it at night by just doing a compass at nighttime and seeing where it points and seeing where under the North Star is and making your adjustment. You need nobody, nothing. You just can look and see exactly what your declination is.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And that's why it's used, and that's what the magnets are used for. And that they try to sell it to us now as a very confusing thing, like they do with space time and other things that you don't want to really feel the simplicity about. They baffle you with so much bullshit that you don't want to even look at, because you know that it's going to go nowhere and baffle your head. So they get people to look away from it. It's the same with the Faraday effect that you saw. The Faraday effect is simply putting two polarized fields 90 degrees and it blacks out the light. You've seen it with the two Polaroid filters. They don't show you that when they talk about Faraday effect. They sit there and write really long formulas and what's happening, and you need to know this. They're not, these are all optical effects. They're simply optical or visual effects, or things that are happening in reality. They're not formulas on the page. They're not anything magical, but what they are doing in our science is they're making them so complicated that you don't feel you're smart enough to look at and entangle, when in fact you shouldn't be looking at all of their descriptions in the first place, because again, it's doing nothing but to make it so confusing that you don't want to untangle it, or if you untangle it, you'll untangle it wrong because they put so much extraneous information into it.
Yep.
Okay, I think
Actually, the
Stuck.
last time I was on Globebusters, we were supposed to talk about that, but then I never did talk about it. Maybe next time that I'm on Globebusters, we can actually talk about it.
Talk about it and show pictures and do things
Show
like that. I would,
pictures. And I can show you the scans that I have of where I actually did do the sun tracking and I measured it, and I can show you that I have done. I'm the one who
Uh-huh.
figured out. Nobody even told me how to figure out what magnetic declination is. Zach taught me how to track the sun. And then I was like, oh, well, blah, 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 this is how you do magnetic declination then. And then I went back to him. I said, is this correct? He said, yeah, that's great. And so now I know how to do it. And I've done it. And it's easy.
It's
Anybody can do
easy.
it.
Anybody can, and they have been doing it for thousands of years, is right. I would love that. By the way, you're on Globebuster Sunday, so get your presentation ready.
Okay, still have
I would
it.
love to see it. Maybe we'll do that one. And the other one that maybe we can put together is I would love to do when showing like the 8 inches per mile and even going over with the shoreline paradoxes just as a reference of what it's the opposite of it. It's a closed geometric instead of an open like a shoreline would be. Do people know what the shoreline paradox is?
I do.
You do? I'm not sharing anymore.
I'm not.
Does anybody care about it?
It's not kicking a thing for me. So please tell us.
Okay, I'm going to share screen again and we'll just pull it up. We'll go back to screen 2. The shoreline paradox is something that when they started, it's something that the map makers and some of the confusion of making maps, it caused a lot of discrepancies in that, and it's called the shoreline paradox. And the reason I'm even teaching it is it's a good way to teach about what people are doing wrong on the 8 inches per mile, or not wrong, but show why what they're doing is also a paradox on it. So the coastline paradox is a counterintuitive observation that the coastlines of land masses do not have a well-defined length. This is going to be the exact opposite of what we're going to tell you, but it's going to give you like the concept of it.
The idea of it just depends on the size of your measuring stick.
Okay. The idea of it just depends on the size of your measuring stick is right. If you use smaller measuring sticks, you wind up with more land. If you use bigger measuring sticks, you wind up with less land. You can come up with an infinitely by taking it to shoreline level, going in and out of all of the shorelines. You can come up with an infinitely long one almost by going in every, and then even taking it down to sand grains or whatever. You could get to it being almost a forever size if you go to a small enough fraction on it. The measured length of a coastline depends on the method used to measure it and the degree of the cartographic generalization.
Are you sharing something, Cami?
I am. Ooh.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, because I didn't hit the share thing. Okay, how's
Oh
it?
yeah, there you go.
Okay. So it is. It says it's this, and it's showing you your pictures of your bigger measuring sticks versus your smaller measuring sticks, and take these measuring sticks even smaller out and take them in and around, and you'll see how you could get completely different measurements. An example made, if the coastline of Great Britain is measured in units using 100 kilometers, then the length of the coastlines is approximately 2,800 kilometers. With 50 kilometers, the total length is approximately 3,400 kilometers. It just grew the coastline just grew 370 miles longer just by changing out your increment. By making even bigger ones, you can get it smaller or bigger. Again, it's going to go, the smaller the increment measuring it, the bigger, almost getting infinitely big the coastline is going to be. The smaller the unit and the more that you just rough it up, the smaller it'll be. It comes in when different countries measure them using different increments, and it doesn't make any sense when they're putting together maps. This itty-bitty country has got a much bigger coastline than a big one, and this has happened a lot in history. Euclidean distance and that, and it will give history of it and doing it on a fractal. Now, when you talk about a closed circle like a
If you've ever outlined something trying to play with Photoshop, you know all about this. I mean, come on, you all know, you know.
I should have, you know what, I should have you pick it up because I can't draw on the screen, so I don't know how to antidote. Somebody could do what I'm doing even better. But what happens with this is if you imagine drawing lines and going around the circle, you're going to, because this is a closed regular shape, you're going to have the exact opposite, meaning that the longer you make the measurements, you know, if you're doing amount of drop, people are measuring the amount of drop and amount of curvature, right? So let's pretend like you're starting here. if you change your increment and you do every mile and say it's 8 inches and add the 8 inches up a mile, you're drawing a pretty tight circle around here, right? If you do 100-mile drop and go out here and drop, and then here and drop, and here and drop, as you get bigger lines, you're getting to a lot more drop, a lot more curvature. And if you take the measurements in, you're coming into, if you made small enough increments, like if you measured this at a foot of drop every foot, you'd make it that your line was so tight around the globe that we'd have zero curvature, because you're doing a straight line against an arc and then measuring how much it goes down. So the way that we read curvature and amount of drop is by the Sagitta, confirmed with CAD engineering, confirmed with, and then we do know that that same section of an arc, for some period, regardless of what shape it is, a whole sphere or that, but you have a section of that arc that they'll give that the formulas for a parabola and for that arc are going to overlap, not all the way around, but just out to about here, where again
about
you're gonna have
a third or
about a third
33.3 degrees.
Yeah, right. So you have a distance that is going to go out, and those circles are going to pretty much exactly overlap. And so we use the 8 inches per mile squared formula simply because it's a really, really easy math to do, where the Sagitta is not so easy. CAD engineer is not so easy, but you can do 8
And it's
inches
not
per square.
real quick, Cam. I think
Mhm.
why Robotham chose that one, because this wasn't an ignorant man.
Mhm.
He was a smart man, and he knew all the other maths.
Mhm.
This one shows the least amount of curvature. Out of all the other calculations, they all actually curve more. The AutoCAD, which is supposedly more accurate, actually shows more curve. So he's giving the curve the most benefit of the doubt. He's using the math that gives the curve the most benefit of doubt. The one math that shows the least amount of curvature, and it's not by much.
It's
I
not
think
by
at
it's
100
yeah.
miles, it's like a couple feet. So it's not
So
even really relevant.
So exactly, it's a very conservative number, but it's also, again, a smart number to keep in mind with, just because it's practical. It's practical and easy, and you can pull up the worksheets, lay it against the Sagitta, lay it against the CAD engineering, lay it against the different numbers and see again how close it is. But your time getting to the numbers, if you just wanted to do quick math, is so darn accurate on the overlay. We all know that it's not a parabola. We all nobody thought the globe was a parabola, but again, why would you take a complicated when you have formulas and you're working with segments and you have different formulas that will give you the same results? Why wouldn't you pick the easiest formula that works 100% of the time, like again within your parameters? And being a parabola,
It
you don't
works
go back
for the distances. For the
Mhm.
distances that we're using,
It
it's
works
more than enough.
it works a lot further than you can see, and
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. And so that the other one that people are doing different amounts of curve, that we have it wrong, and that you have to, I don't know if it's 10 mile, but what they're doing is doing different increments going around. And while they will get that, when they add those increments going all the way around, they will get a math formula that's 100% competent and 100% right. If they change the unit of measure, they'll get a totally different number. So they keep on showing me that their math is correct, and it's like, yes, your math is correct, but if you change your unit of measure, like on the paradox, which is written, the cosine paradox, which is written so beautifully, it shows with pictures, if you change your unit of measure, it's going to do the exact inverse of that, but it's going to change just again in that type of fashion, that when you change your increments, your amount of drop is going to change with every different one you use. So I know that I get 2 or 3 emails a week telling people like how we're doing the math wrong on it. And I am open for that, but it's researched. I haven't ignored the emails or said that no, 100% I'm right. Again, we've checked the work. We've done it in CAD engineering. We've done it, looked on the Sagitta. I made 5 or 6 years ago a full worksheet with Bob that he shows a lot of the times on Globebusters. I'm the Excel girl on here on the Excel spreadsheets. We put this together years ago and did the outright comparisons with it. So it's not said like lightly or without thought to it. And I also realized that like the numbers that they're giving me on the formulas and what they're correcting us with, while the math is correct, it is a paradox if you change your increment. And me saying it's a paradox when you change your increment and trying to explain doesn't, they're like, no, they show me the math works out. So this was, we'll just use this time to like address all of those different emails and stuff I get all of the time on that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes,
Do you have
ma'am.
questions on it,
Absolutely.
or?
Oh, you don't want me questioning math. No. But look, I've ridden along as hard as I can on the math, and I know the basic one that you can show somebody and they go, holy shit. And then from there, then you drop them off in the deep end. You know what I mean? And then we had Adam creating his own formulas. And then when we start throwing in the eyeball and Frauenhauer, it's time for a nap.
Right.
It's time for a nap for Walt at that point. But yeah, in fact, interestingly enough, we have a new participant that has joined us in chat. Welcome there. Damn it, I've lost it. Jeremy Daniel, and he's a bit confused about the dichotomy, I guess, between chats, conversation, and what we're all talking about here on the panel, and it does diverge a bit at times, Jeremy.
Well, yeah, it's like a family in chat.
Yeah.
You know, there's a bunch of different conversations happening at the dinner table all at the same time, and this is a 50-person dinner table, 50 plus us. You know.
Yep. That happens to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in Coffee Talk, if you're watching, you'll hear me say, I'm like, what are you guys saying in chat? And I'm like,
right.
related to I'm saying.
Exactly what you guys about. Right. That's why we always try to put it somewhere there so you guys can see that whole other show that's happening in chat.
Yeah, I woke up Monday and I was like, oh no Coffee Talk. But it's understandable. You get your days off too.
Like, yeah, my God.
Yeah, well,
As I said,
sometimes you gotta focus on the family.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love Monday mornings just for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's like an hour and a half, and sometimes it's like 4 hours. Usually not an hour and a half. Usually it's at least 2. But sometimes
an hour
it's
and
like
a half is rare. Usually it's like 2.5 hours, I think, is the average.
But sometimes it's like 1 o'clock and you're just wrapping up. It's like, holy crap, she's been on since like 9:30. Yeah, I love Coffee Talk. And I love how you have some of the callers that always call in, and then you'll get a couple oddballs here and there. I love hearing from all the same people every week. A lot of them that call in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good stuff. You do pretty good numbers over there too, for being that early in the AM.
Yeah, you do.
I know. It's like the people who are up that early, and then of course nobody else is streaming, so it's like fishing.
So I dropped that
yeah, I'm trying to pull it up right now, Zach.
Commercial in chat. We should play that real quick.
I'm getting it up right now for you guys. Hang on.
I know I want coffee now.
If you've never been to a meetup, these things are so much fun. And if you can't get to Flattoberfest, at least try to find a meetup in your local area. I know Brian said they're having one in the southern Pennsylvania area, I believe, at a state park in southern Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's this weekend, maybe.
Awesome.
Drop the deets in chat somewhere for us, and I'll put it up on the screen.
So they're definitely happening. The meetups are happening all over. Yeah. I know. It can be
also,
difficult.
if you're having one of those meetups, you can email me and I'll put it on my website for free, and I'll list your meetup so you can, and I'll help you get people at your meetup.
And what is that email, Karen?
That email is flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Nice. I remember Proton. I think I still have an account there.
I remember
All right, I'm gonna
Death
show the
Star.
commercial if you guys are ready. I'm sorry, Zach. What?
No, I was just being dumb. I said I remember the Death Star. Remember?
Y'all ready?
Yep.
I like that already.
Flattoberfest.
Hold on, you're
It's
going to
back.
have to stop because my
Greenville,
OBS is
South
crashed
Carolina.
completely. So I have no access to do anything until I can close OBS and get this fucking thing restarted.
Uh-oh. All right, well, then we'll hold the fort there for a second. I'll stop my share. And I
Frickin'
will
OBS.
actually pop over to our additional chat and play a little catch up there. What's up, Roxanne? I see you, Andrew. I see you hanging out over there, Nemo and Brian. Who else is there? I see a few more folks number wise, but I'm not fluent in Roxanne just yet to see all the people. I know there's a way. I found it one time. Now I can't find it. Anyway, welcome.
All right, I think I got it up.
All right.
Let's try this again real quick. Oh, shit.
Let me go back. Uh-oh.
No, you go ahead.
No,
I can.
me go.
Yep,
Me
you go.
go. Okay.
I can.
Shares it. He does. He shares it. And he goes to the wrong place. There it is. There that is. Yeah. Yes, we'll go. And I didn't go.
Good job.
Go.
Flattoberfest. It's back. Greenville, South Carolina, October 22nd and 23rd. With the grand return of Mark Sargent. And live music from Chief Crow and the Flat Earth Worms. Austin Whitsitt of Whitsitt Gets It. Benjamin Balderson of Olden's Alchemy. Jason Lindgren of Secrets of Saturn and Crow 777 Radio. Marty Leet of GnosticAcademy.org. One Big Love. How the World Works with Cammy and Zach. And new music by Austin and Kai Whitsitt. Sean Griffin of Kingdom in Context. Reserve your tickets at flatearthfestivals.com.
Yes, shout out to FMX, as Ian says in chat.
Yeah, much love, Chris. My boy. Great video editor. Yeah, I can't wait, Karen. Thank you so much for putting these on. I know it's a big pain in the ass and a big old headache that lasts like 6 months, but it's definitely worth it for all of us.
Yeah,
if that helps. Yeah.
we'll all
Thank
have
you so much.
fun, including me.
Yeah. Sunday night after they close the doors, I'll hand you your brownie. You can go do karaoke and yeah.
Awesome.
All will be well. I can't wait to see Mark. It's been a long time. It's been a couple of years since he's been out here.
I haven't seen Mark since 2020. Exactly 2 years. I'm going to squeeze
so
the
much
ever-loving shit out of him.
Yeah, and for all the people that give Mark shit, dude, Mark is like the sweetest guy. Even in person, I mean, he's
the best.
Yeah, he really is. That's me. He's a big dork. He's a nerdy dork that loves nerdy video games, the old pinball ones and stuff like that. He is. He's just a
Yeah.
nerd, but he's like the
And he loves
kindest nerd.
trivia. He's smart.
Yeah, super
He's
smart.
a cool
Yeah.
dude. You know, people give him crap all the time, but he's never the one slinging mud. Ever. Ever. He doesn't do it.
No, I don't think I've ever really heard him speak bad about someone.
He
You know,
doesn't.
he said like, well, this person, I don't really care for the way they go about doing this or that, but that'll be about it. And that was when Eric was doing videos like about him and
Right.
Patricia and all the different people. And yeah, you know, he
Mark
doesn't
just
say a
lets
bad
me
word about
talk
anyone.
crap, and then he just says, yeah. He just goes, huh? Yeah. And I'll be all blah, 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 blah. And Mark just goes, mm-hmm. Yep.
Karen, the
I think that's why
sergeant
he
in
has me
arms.
around.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love Mark. Good guy.
So for $10, I'm looking on Amazon, $10, you can buy 10 22-inch Earth globe balloons, sphere world map foil balloons, Planet 4D round globe balloons, and 2 rolls of ribbons for a birthday space theme party, Earth Day decorations, teaching supplies.
What is the 22-inch? Is it the circumference or the diameter?
It's a real good question.
I know how these people work on Amazon.
Right. Item dimensions 866 by 709 by 0.59 inches. So it's like
22-inch circumference.
Right. So they're really not that big. So they're not going to be giant balloons, but you can fill them with helium.
They're cute, though. They'd be cute if you did a bunch of little ones like that.
And you can release them with research flat earth cards stuffed inside. I'm sure you could roll them up and put stuff in there, like a little message in a bottle. You ever do that as kids where you fill up little, like getting pen pals, you put your name and your address and you put it in a helium balloon and you let it go, and wherever it lands, somebody finds it and you get a new pen pal. They reach back out and say, hey, I found your balloon. But I'm thinking for $10 for 10 of them, I'd be real curious just to see where they end up. Hit it with a little QR code or something so that when somebody scans it, you get notified. Say, hey, somebody found your balloon.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we sent a couple balloons out. A couple of them made it. A couple of them were a little too heavy to clear the trees last year.
Yeah. A couple of them, people put too much crap in it. And I was like, you guys. And then I let it go, and it's just like.
It was funny. It was so funny.
Let's give them a roll of quarters.
I was so scared it was going to pop. God, that thing is like, you could hear all like the electrostatics inside crackling as he's blowing it up. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, that was fun times.
Always. It's always fun. It's always fun.
So I see the Bitches Brew is coming back. When is the first show going to be?
This coming Thursday, the 29th.
Nice.
Yes.
And who is going to be on the panel? I know you guys are switching things up a little bit. Not so many people this time, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah. I'm keeping it to 4 people this time. 4 at a time anyway. Not the same 4 people, but just 4 at a time. I feel like that's a good number for a panel.
Yeah, because you all do a lot of talking, you know, on your shows yourselves. And to put 6 people together that all do a lot of talking, it's too much. Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be me and then Rose 777.
Yes.
Tammy. And we're going to have Jenny Rose from TikTok, the Flat Earth TikTok girl.
I heard Cammy tell us that this morning. When did you tell us that, Cammy?
I did tell you that this morning, and yeah, Jenny the TikTok God, that's exciting. It's fresh air. It's new
Yeah, it's
energy.
awesome. I'm excited for it.
Be good to talk to Rose
Are
again.
y'all going to do the round robin thing again? Pop on each person's channel? Because you're more than welcome to
No.
pop in here, Tammy, and we'll help you do it for damn sure. You know, help you produce. We don't have to be there.
Well, I'm
Testosterone.
open to it, but I said that I would just go ahead and
Just go ahead and do it. That's
assume
fine.
that I would be hosting just to keep
Well,
it consistent, because I'm the one who just does the streaming, you know.
Right. That's cool.
And
Like I
when
said,
bitches brew back then, like I'm basically the one who was like keeping it going anyway. So I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna take it over, and then it'll just be 4 people at a time, and we'll just switch people out. And I'm totally open to having other people host it too if they want to, but I'm just saying, I'm just assuming that responsibility so that it actually happens. You know what I'm saying?
Which is good. Yeah, when I would have it, for instance, it was
Mm-hmm.
Karen, can you make the thumbnail and can you do the thing? And I don't know how to run this, and it works.
Right, she was doing
You
it
try
great.
to avoid it, yeah. It was intimidating, and so yeah, the fact that she's doing it, I think also will get more of a consistency and following on it too. And I like the idea of that. Again, she'll change out the different, ladies on the panel and that, and just have a 4 format. So that's fun. That's exciting and fresh.
Yeah, and then it encourages us to switch it up more because, more people, more ladies will want to join it. And we'll just, and if we limit it to 4, then it gives us more of a chance to just keep it going with different shows. And then also, everybody that comes on will actually have a chance to talk, which is important.
Yeah, what you want. Everybody to get.
Right. You want to give them a chance to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I love the Bitches Brew. Big shout out to FE Nation and chat. Came and hung out Wednesday with us on our pre-show shoot sting.
Yeah, you beat me to it, Zach. That was awesome. I wasn't there much, but I get to hang for a few games. So come back and do it again with us, brother, for sure.
We'll get audio
and bring the
worked
fam.
out.
Do what?
We'll get the audio worked out.
I know, dude. Look, it's mostly me because I have so many things going through the show. Just like when Josh is trying to do it, he's got so much going set a certain way for the show. When you start changing crap around, it goes haywire. So we'll get it. I said pretty much for me, Discord on my phone is the go-to. That way I don't have to change anything on my computer and I don't mess up the show because I've done it too many times trying to get those things
you
working.
need a Jaren.
I need a Jaren. I need to find out.
We all need a Jaren.
Right?
Need a Jaren.
You are not wrong.
Ooh, that dude.
We all need a Jaren.
He just walks in the room and just like, what's going on? It's fixed. Like, yeah, that's like my brother. If I was living in the house with my brother, he could do that too. Doing it across, 8 states is a little difficult.
I spent like 2 weeks trying to get my Wi-Fi hooked up to my laptop in like 2002, and finally I just gave up and just kept running a LAN wire everywhere.
Just give me a wire. Right.
I was like, screw it. But
I'm wired
Jaren
right
comes
now.
over and he's like, bloop, 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 and everything's good to go.
There's a little switch right here on the side. Here, just blink. Here you go. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's awesome having a computer genius in the house.
Yeah, it's difficult, man. People don't have no idea, when you're being a content provider, especially small time like us, or at least like me, doing everything.
Yeah, you don't have a producer and
production, graphic design, social media, blah, 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 all that. Booking your appointment, booking your shows if you want to have people on, which is part of a long time part of a big reason why I hardly ever have people on my channel. It's like, and then I have to schedule people on there, and it's like, I'm just so bad. I just can't do it all. But I have managed to start booking more people on my channel here recently, so that's good. Hopefully I can keep up with that momentum. But it's difficult because you're doing everything on your own, all of it, all of it, all of it.
And even with the team, I mean, we got like 5 of us usually running 4 or 5 at a time, and we still are always going, wait, who we got? Have we got somebody next week? 2 weeks? What are we doing?
Yep. Yeah, man.
You got to get on Ted about putting out his presentation more places. I want to see that thing more places. More people have to see that.
He has to redo it where he's not cussing everybody out.
I thought he did great on our show. The one he did
Yeah,
here?
the one he,
great.
the one
I
he
saw
did
in
on
the
your
chat
show was
earlier.
good, which was the night after my show, because on my channel, he was
Well, he
very
got all the
nervous,
rage out. He got
and
the
he was
rage out, and he was
drinking, and he was like,
calm when he
"Suck
got
my dick," blah blah blah, and I was like, "Oh, dude, okay, listen, nonsense." And
I
then the
love
next day,
Ted.
he goes on your channel and he's like, "Well, blah 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 blah, and this, and that, and I'm all suddenly coherent, and I can present everything beautifully." And I was like, "Why couldn't you do that on my channel?" "I don't know. I'm sorry."
It's so much easier when people are asking questions, you know? It is. Presenting to like an audience, it's hard. I don't like doing it. But sitting here having a conversation with somebody about something, that's so much easier to explain things when, they're asking questions. And yeah, I'm not good at being a presenter. But like at Flattoberfest, it's hands-on and I'm right there talking to the person and I can, that's easy. But getting up in front of a large group, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, it's hard to get up in front of a large group. But for me, when you're on a live stream, you're not in front of a large group. I mean, there could be people in chat, but you're not like physically there being stared at by all the eyeballs. It's
Yeah.
different when there's physical eyeballs looking at you. That's different. It's way easier when you're just on a stream. You mean in my
No. I'm going to tell you the exact opposite. I've always been able to get in front of a group of people and speak.
Really?
Yeah, but getting on, completely having a camera on me is what completely freaked me out. And then looking on the live stream and then seeing your own face shining back at you with that completely boggles me. Plus, when you have a live audience, you can catch some people's eyes and see what they're getting and what they're not, and adjust to the situation.
They both have their pluses and minuses.
Yeah, I find it, again, you don't have to worry about like the tech too much if you have somebody to work the tech, but I find it much easier to be hands-on, and especially with the hands-on stuff too. Even if you get up with people and then can do the hands-on, I just like the in-person so much better. The analog as opposed to digital. I will always be I will be an analog girl across the board.
I think Ted does too. I love Ted though, by the way.
Well, you love me too, and yet I'm not the best radio personality.
Right.
And I know that. I don't get to see people's eyes or that a lot of the things that you get. So again, it's not a good or a bad. It's a different like skill sets and comfort levels.
Yeah.
I'm
funny.
I started coming on this show because I was so terrified to be on the air or things like that, in case Bob needed like little glimpses on Globusters or that, just to get a little bit of the scaredness out. Again, doing it, getting past the fear and that, but this is
those
enjoyable.
early days, Candy.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I love you, lady.
I remember the first time I ever was on Globusters, I was terrified.
Yeah, me too. It was weird. Like, even after I'd been on Globebusters, calling into Jaren's show one time, I got all nervous.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, dude, I've talked to Jaren so many times now. Why am I getting nervous? But yeah, it just happened. It does. Still. But no, this show, really, Ironworx, has really helped me just, I don't even know I'm on, It's just sitting here chatting with my buddies. What it is.
And
it's commercial
friendly
breaks.
group. Yeah. Friendly group in the chat. We're not trying to be the master. Again, it's time spent together with people that have been in it a long time. It's an important piece to have. All of us already are fully aware that we're not on a spinning globe, and sometimes, again, it's just fun to...
Yeah, we don't have to talk about just that. We can talk about all kinds of stuff and be friends without talking about Flat Earth.
And unfortunately, that has, I think, cost us some viewers who came strictly for Flat Earth and wanted only Flat Earth, and that's all they want. And I don't understand that. We all obsessed about it, spent those weeks of the honeymoon period, not sleeping and trying to talk to people and then looking at us like we're nuts. But at some point, it just kind of settled into my person as part of my reality. Proving it to everybody isn't really the key anymore to me. It's seeing how it's affected people and what changes it's made in their lives. And that question everybody asks, so what if it's flat and what does it make a difference to me? Well, this is the difference it's made for these people and these amazing groups of loving souls that are grouping together and doing these things that are changing this fucking place. So to me, that's more important than going, okay, how many miles and what do you mean? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
That's fun and it's great and it gets that seed planted for somebody. Yeah, but just hammering it to death just kind of.
You can only talk about the same
Only
thing
so
for
many
so
things
long.
you can say about it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
There's so
Yeah,
much.
then it just turns into the Jerry Springer show. It's
Yeah.
the same thing every show. So and
You
so
open
cheated
the
on so
door
and
to
so.
so much stuff, though. Once you figure it out, like after you get past that part,
That's just like the
you
dam
open the
breaker,
door,
man. Then
it's
it
like
floods, right?
it's a whole
Absolutely.
new world.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Now you have eyes to go look at this whole place all over again and see it in a totally new way. Yeah, it's like being reborn. You know, you're like Neo. I love the analogy. Neo waking up from the Matrix. Why do my eyes hurt? Because you never used them before.
Right?
Time to go look around now.
Right.
Liz the Iron Maiden says, I've noticed Jaron always talks faster on Globebusters than on his own show. Question mark, hands up. Well, Liz, on his own show, it's usually Jaron, and if he has a few guests, when he's on Globebusters, he's on with Witsit and Bob and all of these other. If you want to get something in, you better. That's the one thing. Ask Karen. That's the hardest thing about Globebusters is a million thoughts hit your brain, and you have things that you want to talk and waiting for somebody to take a breath.
I
you
say
can
about
get in.
10%. 10% of what I want to on Glowbusters.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
And if you're not, you can't get in unless you're good. You can't get in, so you have to talk fast to get it in there on there. They run a quick pace, little ship.
Yeah. Drink like a pot of coffee before you sit down.
I think we made Bob's like OCD kick in a bit when he's here. We kind of just chill and let the little silences hang for a minute. I think it freaks him out a bit. Come
It
back and
does.
hang with us, Bob. I love you, brother. Yeah, I know. I can tell it does. I really can.
You
I
know
love
what
it.
though?
I love it.
You know what's funny is a long time ago, like over 20 years ago, I used to listen to Howard Stern, which he's a douchebag to everybody now, but back in the day,
he was something new. He was something new.
Cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Howard Stern. I used to listen to him when I would drive to work in the morning because they piped it in, whatever. He was national, and they would have their conversations on that show sometimes would be like that. They would be very slow and they would be kind of quiet for a minute and they would just be talking about like the dumbest, most pointless shit. But it didn't matter because you were so entrenched in the conversation that you were just going along with it. You were just listening, it didn't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you weren't there for entertainment so much as you're there just hanging out.
Yeah, it was entertainment and it was hanging out sometimes. Like it would just sort of leak over. Like there was a time where he was like trying to lose weight and all he would talk about was how he was like, so I ordered this sandwich from this place down the street and they said they don't put any fat in it. I'm going to call him and make sure. And so he would call the place, and he'd be like, how did you cook my sandwich this morning? Like it was just stupid shit like that.
I got into Howard Stern right when he was transferring over to satellite radio. So I guess I'd listened to him for about a year and a half, maybe on the terrestrial radio here in St. Louis. And then he was leaving and going over. And I was all hyped up. I was all anti-FCC and fuck the FCC. And we're going to just all go over there. And I made it maybe 6 months. I'm like, oh, so he really was just going to crank it up to 11 and run with it, huh? I'm like, all right, well, guess I'm kind of done with Howard Stern. But with the Love Sponge was just, I'm like, all right, we're done. We're done with all this nonsense.
I even listened to Rush Limbaugh at one point back there for comedy, but that was when his wife Marta was on before he got a divorce, and he was funny for a while there, just on when she was on there, because I liked watching what she would do, because he'd be talking about things and he wasn't up to current. She'd be in the background playing like garbage, stupid girl, and people would be clueless about her little snipes in the background. And made what his wife added to the show was the humor I went there for. And when she left, so did I. It was like it lost all of the like warped charm. But he had some really like warped funniness to it when she was there. That again, the humor was lost. And yeah, 20 years ago, I listened to Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh just to get a little piece of everything. Cody, I love the fast talk, and that's how I talk too. Just as what it is, my mind flies. Me too. I can actually talk faster than wits that I think, maybe twice as fast. I cannot tell you. Generally, when I get on the show, my husband comes in here and says, "Take a breath,
Oh my goodness,
slow
trying to get Canada to
down."
record audio for making a video.
Oh my gosh.
Slow down.
Slow down. My mother too. That's what I always heard my host. Probably same with you, Cody. Like, take a breath, slow down.
I have to
And
tell my children to slow down all the
the
time.
time.
I'm like, quit speeding through everything. You miss stuff. You miss silly stuff because you're just speeding through everything. You know.
I still remind myself all the time to slow down.
Me
I did
too.
it today. I was chewing something. I was like, slow down and taste this more. What are you doing? Stop inhaling your food. I've always eaten like that though. I eat fast. Always have. But yeah, I'm constantly still reminding myself to slow down. Smell the roses a little bit. Look around. So we covered an article this morning. I just want to mention it one more time. An experiment, they said. Scientists did an experiment. And pretty much it comes down to anxiety, stress, all these different things, paranoia, schizophrenia, all these different things can be helped just by going out into nature. That you don't need some magic pill that you got to pay for the rest of your life. And if you decide you want to stop taking it, you're not going to kill yourself, all these kinds of things. Nature itself is medicine. You go out and go for a walk through the woods, you will feel better. You may not realize it right away. It's not like taking a drug and feeling, getting high off of it and getting tingly and getting that kind of physical feeling, but your mental state will feel so much better. And this used to be prescribed medicine from doctors, Oh, you're stressed out at work? Go for a walk in the park every day. This or that. That was what they would tell them. We need to get this back out. There's way too many people on these anti-anxiety, anti-depression, anti-this, anti-that. Go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. Take 10 minutes out of your day and go for a walk. Look around. Breathe. It will help. Yeah, and that's all I really wanted to say about that. It's simple. It's very simple. That's how we're supposed to live. When you think about it, we're supposed to be out in nature. We're animals when it all comes down to it, We're a biological life form. Yes, houses are wonderful and great, and they keep us safe from the weathers and, predators and all that stuff. But nature is very important. We're supposed to be out there.
We are over climate controlled, I'm convinced. The same way that we'd have our clocks out of sync, and all of our internal clocks, we never really know what. We have all this artificial lighting. I think because our bodies are so out of sync with what's going on in nature around us, it throws off even more cycles in us. Oh, it's freezing outside and you keep the house at 83 degrees. Cool. Right on. So your body will never acclimate because you're always going from hot to cold. So you're always going to feel like it's fucking freezing every winter because you don't ever really used to the weather. So you don't have to because you live in a heated / air conditioned home. There's a lot to be said for maintaining those natural cycles.
Yeah, I remember my grandma just ranting about air conditioning. They kept their windows open during the summertime, and they had a gas heater in the winter, and that was how they lived. And it definitely was different for us who were been spoiled with air conditioning and central air and all
I
that.
didn't have air conditioning growing up. My floor used to sweat. It'd be 100% humidity and like 100 degrees, and we had that old tile floor from the 40s, and it would
That was
start
my
like
uncle's
sweating.
house. I had the
With the
sweaty tile.
asbestos in it. Sweet.
Had asbestos feet.
Oh man.
I reckon we could probably round it out, call it an evening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Karen. I love when you come hang out with us.
It's always a good time.
Good medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate the invite, and I always love hanging out with y'all.
To get you and Ted on here together one of these
Have
Fridays.
a couple
sessions. There you go.
No.
We'll get a bottle of wine, maybe a little bourbon. Just go to town. Come on.
Oh God. Yeah, get Ted loose on here. Right. Hell yeah.
Make up for his stellar appearance last time.
Ted's the best. I just want to say he is the best.
Yeah,
I love Ted.
Y'all all
Agreed.
together,
Ted.
man. Truly.
He's awesome.
Love him.
I do.
By the way, for those that can't get enough Karen, she will be our guest on Globebusters Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
possibly Globebusters, I don't know how long you've been listening, but if you heard the declination part, we might talk about declination. She's got some graphics and she's done measurements and that, so that would be fun to listen to.
For sure.
Of course, that's me thinking anything magnetics is fun to listen to. I'm not normal.
And don't forget, folks, if you would like to go to Flattoberfest and need information, you can find that at flatearthfestivals.com. There's also information in there about Telegram group for ride sharing.
Yes.
So if you're worried about, you got the money, but you can't find a ride, there's people out there that I'm sure would be willing to, help you out. So just take a look around, see what you can find.
If you don't have that link, I think it is. Oh wait, no, it's actually not. I'm sorry. I thought it was in the.
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, put it
well,
there.
we have your channel. We have the Flat Earth Festivals link. It's just not.
Everything's at the website.
Yeah, we'll get the Telegram to y'all in a minute. Hang on.
All the links are at the website. You can get links to my channels at the website. You can get links to the Telegram group in the hotel info tab on the website. If you go to, I think it's events, and then if you go to Flattoberfest, and then it's hotel info. If you go there, there's a link there to the Telegram group that gives you where everybody is doing ride sharing, carpool info. They're booking rooms. They're looking for people to pitch it on Airbnbs and all that good stuff in there. So Flat Earth Festivals, just go there and start looking around at the links there. Start fishing around. You'll find everything.
And you'll find the link to the website next to the red balloon in the chat.
You'll also find it in the show description.
But with the red balloon?
Oh. Whoa.
I remembered to put stuff in the show description.
That did good.
See, it's little victories.
You got to take them, brother.
That, and I did Rockfin. Look at me go.
I know. You didn't even have to be told to push the button, Frank.
Look at you go.
Yeah, it's time. I have no coffee.
I'm a wiener. All right. Love you guys. We're going to get the hell out of here.
Alrighty, guys. Go see Karen Sunday. See you in chat there, Bobo. Come hang out with us, man.
What
Definitely.
day?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Thought you'd get me. No, there you go, Cammy. Hit it hard.
That's right. Sunday.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Did I do that too quick?
You did it perfect.
Not
lady.
too quick. Just a little more chest next time.
Yeah.
Sunday.
You should diaphragm. Well, not. Wait. Hold up.
Be careful how you just.
Hold on. Be careful with that.
Use a belly breath. Sorry.
We'll be here all week. All right.
Okay.
Love you
guys. We will see
Love
you
you,
all
Karen.
Tuesday
Thank you.
morning.
I love you
Karen,
guys
thank
too.
you. Hug Ted for us. Tell him thank you again. Hopefully I'll see you in a little while.
Yeah. I would love it. Love to see y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Otherwise, we shall see you right back here on Tuesday mornings for the Ironworx, or maybe Friday mornings for more Ironworx. Or, there's always Friday afternoons where, guess what? There's going to be some more Have No Sphere right here on the Ironworld Media YouTube channel. Until then, be good, be well. We love you. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.